because in our daily life, obviously, what bothers you is what causes you the diseases. So, this is a very simple question. You just ask yourself, what bothers you? If it is the money, money is the problem. If it is your relationship, then it's very clear who bothers you the most, and that is the cause of the disease. So this will cause all kind of tension, stress in your heart. We use the word heart because mind sometimes is related with brain, but this is with the heart. So it is always the blockages there. So if you really, really want to dig out what diseases are from, you see they are most probably from your beloved ones. And even if you get sick, see, your beloved ones still love you. How do they love you? They send you to the hospital. They say you are sick. But that's also in the name of love. Because they don't know the correct way to love you. Actually, that is the wrong way sometimes, see. I told you the story about the Alzheimer's case from China. See, this father couldn't even control the pooping and the urine. That's horrible. He lost all his memories. So his wife and daughter wanted to PaidaLajin. He refused. So what did they do? They used a rope, tied him up on the chair and began to do the PaidaLajin. That looks very cruel, right? But that's really love. So a few days later, it became normalized. All the memories came back and seek for more PaidaLajin. Then a few months later, the other sons and daughters came back. And the father caught cold. That's a small disease. See, the mother and the daughter wants to do the PaidaLajin, but refused. Because the other sons and daughters, they love their father. You cannot do this brutal way. So they use a more civilized way. Send his father to the hospital to use antibiotics and all kinds of medicine. Within 1 month, his father died. So that is also in the name of love. So love, what is love? So many bad, horrible things happen in the name of love. So this PaidaLajin looks a little bit strange or even cruel or even ridiculous. Yet that is real love. So when somebody say they love this one, they love that one, I always say, you have to love yourself first. If you don't even love yourself, take care of your own body, I doubt your love is true or not. Because they cannot spend the time on their own body. See, they just abuse. They use this body for how many years? 30 years, 40 years, they just use it daily. Even you eat, drink, you are still using this body. Because when you sit there doing nothing, your stomach, your whole body, your kidney, they begin to work because they have to be very busy digesting what you just swallow. So these are all the simple things. So coming back to the topic of relationship, if you know what bothers you, then if you put it down, you're free. This is very simple, but very difficult to do. You know what bothers you, but you cannot push it aside. See, this is a test. So you are free. See, for me, my mother always concerned about me. After a long time we meet together. She said, oh, you see, the Chinese parents, I guess more or less the same in the whole world. Please eat more, yeah. Then they will use chopsticks to put a lot of stuff in your boat. Eat more. They think they eat more, you get more nutrition. And you grow better, I guess, in the same here, right? Yeah. But actually eating more will damage you. Drinking more will also damage you. But it's all in the name of love. And in Switzerland, I remember a gentleman who's already retired in his 70s. He got a kind of cancer, yeah. And during the meditation, After saying those 4 sentences, his father passed away long, long ago. And he cried. And during his sharing, he cried again. He said, in my life, I just couldn't forgive my father. Because when I was very young, he beat me a lot. I said, okay, please reconsider everything. In those days, it's wartime, you see. Food, everything is, not enough. So you grew up properly, you got your PhD, you got a good job in your life, family. But then why do you have so many diseases? Because deep in his heart, he couldn't forgive. So if he couldn't forgive, that is a blockage. And your father passed away, nothing about you. So you are killing yourself by this blockage. So after that, all these diseases are gone immediately. And his prostate cancer almost gone immediately. Plus PaidaLajin. Another case is from Taiwan. This lady cried many times. We never know why. So every time we say, okay, please forgive. If you don't forgive, that thing, that person will bother you throughout your lifetime. And then one day the lady came to me, she said, I can forgive anyone except my ex-husband. I said, why? I said, because this is a big deal for her. Her husband got involved with her best friend, lady friend. So then they got married somehow. See, she got divorced with her husband married her best friend. How could that be? This is absolutely impossible for me to forgive him. Then I say, okay, you are suffering because of this unforgiveness, because of this sorrow, bitterness, right? And they live their happy life. What's the deal? So you're torturing yourself. And she still couldn't quite, she understood a little bit, but, understanding is one thing. Really forgiving is another thing. Next day, she came to me. She said very clearly, now I totally forgive you. Forget all this is about. This is their life. So I said, now you can test your blood pressure. Because she always had high blood pressure and heart disease. Then the blood pressure normalized. It's like 125. Before it was very high, you see. I said, this is just one thing. If you don't forgive, even if you do PaidaLajin, every day you get the Sha, that problem is still there, that blockage is still there. Then one more thing I reminded her, I said, you think this husband, this man is yours. You know what, why don't you change another angle, you think the other way? This man actually should be your friend husband. You somehow, for some reason, occupy this man first. You should give him back to her. Yeah, she said, I never thought that way. Yeah. So how do you know this man belongs to you? Or even the houses and the money, so many things. They are just the things, or you can use another word, they are just the energy moving in the universe. See, look at this house. Who lives in this house? For how many years, how many generations? People just live here, go, live here, go. Money you used, transfer to another one. The whole life, the whole universe is like this. If you think this way, life would be much simpler. See, when people ask me, I'm like a vagabond traveling all over the world. They ask me why. See, I used to have money, I used to have a car, I have a house. Now, I have no more house. I just rent a very simple house, apartment. Then I have no more car. I used to have a bicycle, but even the second-hand bicycle was stolen. So now I totally have nothing to bother me. So I'm free to travel. To the Chinese, I often say, look at the Forbidden City. Beautiful, huge. Still, still beautiful. But now, so many emperors lived here. They're all gone. Who owns the house? It's energy. So if you use the word energy, because energy is not only physical, but also metaphysical. Depends on how high it is, how high the frequency is. So the whole universe is a universal, it's an energy issue. So life is energy. The Chinese use qi. So if you still have the qi, you have the life. If the qi is gone, your life is gone. If you have some blockage, you hate this, you complain that. If you stop all this complaining, forgive everything, everything has no reason, or all the things you own now have no reason to belong to you. You just temporarily use them, or have a kind of relationship with them. Then they will be here, then someday they will be gone. Even the one you love the most, you will say goodbye sooner or later. So in China, we have a saying. Actually, when I was doing the designing for the opening ceremony of Beijing Olympic Games, I used this as a topic for the closing, because there is a very famous proverb in Chinese. There is no banquet that will last forever. So 没有不散的宴席. So all the big banquet, best friends, you say goodbye. Otherwise, it's not a banquet. You cannot be at the table at the banquet forever. So even the good thing, they'll be gone. Bad thing will be gone too. So you can just, this is a passage of energy. Good.
Thank you very much.
One more thing, Master. You know, yesterday you said about the medicine, which is the saliva.